These are 105 mobs that Minecraft needs to add in its next update.
Beware, the Underminer.
These ghostly mobs are the trapped souls of players long past. Though they prefer to mind their own unfinished business, if you attack one, they'll instantly swing their pickaxes right back at you. And you'll definitely want to stay on their good side, because if you toss over a specific ore block, they'll come out of hiding and actually help you find more of the stuff. Hey, thanks, pal. But now, lunging out of the sands is the Deathworm. And the bigger they are, the harder they bite, with the giant ones even blasting sand and leaving craters in their wake. But here's a pro tip. Drop a block of TNT near one, and dinner is served. The end definitely needs more mob variety, and these ghostly beings called specters fit right in. Passive in nature, these ghastly phantoms can only be damaged by potion effects. You wouldn't want to fight these guys though, because if you use a soul heart to lure them in close, you can actually attach a lead to the specter, and then, woohoo! They make for a fantastic way to travel between end islands. But be careful, because you can detach from the specter, and if you're not careful, it's easy to fall into the void! Ah! Oh, I meant to do that. Guess I'll just have to visit the friendly and mischievous pixies. You can find them near their tiny villages. And all these little sprites won't attack you. Turn your back, and they'll snatch an item straight from your inventory. I know your sick game. Huh? Hey! Give that back! If they grab one, then you'll have to chase them down and give them a quick smack to get it back. Though, if you throw a cake at one, they'll actually become your best friend and follow you around, providing positive status effects depending on their color, like speed or a jump boost. I can fly! I can fly! I can fly! What is this strange theater? I seem to have discovered a new structure. This mystical venue seems to be guarded by a menacing crew of illagers, including pillagers and vindicators, all standing between you and the main attraction. Make it past them, and you'll find the Conjurer himself on stage, ready to dazzle you with his magical powers. But don't be fooled by his tricks. He'll throw cards and magical bouncy balls at you, then become invisible and teleport away. And he'll even pull killer rabbits out of his hat. Defeating him won't be easy, but if you manage to outwit this magical maestro, you'll be rewarded with his hat, 2 emeralds, and the real treasure hidden within his stage room. Ooh, shiny. Elephants in the savannah. These majestic creatures spawn in herds, each led by a mighty leader elephant. But be warned, these gentle giants will fight back if provoked. They'll gore you with their tusks, and the leaders can even charge at you. If you attack one, the whole herd is gonna come to its defense. Oh, I made a big mistake! Oh, but guess what? These big guys are terrified of bees. Maybe they're allergic? Huh, who knew something so small could scare something so big? In hot biomes, wandering traders can now spawn on elephants as well. Now that's traveling in style. Want to ride an elephant yourself? Just feed them acacia blossoms to tame them. And your tamed elephant is actually gonna fight with you too if you're attacked. If you team up with a leader elephant though, you can feed it wheat to make them do their charge attack. You can also decorate your elephant with carpets or place chests on them for storage. Now we're ready for an adventure. Next is, wait, is that a buff squid coming right for me? Ah! The Gladius has learned to adapt outside of the water. It loves to show off its strength by fighting everything it sees. Fortunately though, its squishy body makes it easy to push away. Then it'll turn into its smaller Gladilad form. Just don't forget about that classic ink spray technique, passed down from its squid ancestors. Ah! My eyes! Meet the Mungus, a passive little mushroom creature. Wait, why are you looking at me like that? Whoa, what's happening? With a mushroom on its head, it can fire some beams to turn regular mushrooms into large ones. Careful though, if you find one outside of its habitat and kill it, the sack on its back will explode and transform the land around it. And more mushrooms. Yay. Looting desert temples just got a whole lot harder. Why, you might ask? Ancient mummies now guard the temple, and they're not happy to give up their loot. These mummies will attack any player who sets foot inside the temple, but they refuse to leave themselves. It seems like these structures were over once they're homes. If you manage to kill a mummy, you better loot it quick, because these guys have a tendency to reanimate themselves pretty quickly, so you might have some friends waiting for you on the way out. Speaking of, just like axolotls now have a new friend. This is the ladybug that's exclusive to the Lush Caves. Ladybugs are a neutral mob that are endlessly hostile towards undead mobs and spiders. You can actually feed them spider eyes to heal them and then receive their healing goo. A little gross, but you can throw it at undead mobs to damage them or even craft it into a healing suit. Whoa, it is delicious. And you're gonna wanna make sure you heal them too, because if they're killed by an undead mob, then they transform into the Zadybug. It's a bit slower, but it's still a force to be reckoned with. Then, as the sun sets, make sure to keep an eye out for these adorable critters. Jerboas snooze during the day, and then hop around when the moon's out. Look at those cute little hops. And guess what? These little guys have a soft spot for seeds. They'll even beg and follow you around if you've got some. Who can resist those tiny eyes? And if you feed a Jerboa some seeds, they've got a special surprise for you. The fleet-footed effect will make the player faster as long as they're jumping. And these guys can be bred with maggots. The babies are even more adorable than the adults. Less cute, though, are these vampiric villagers. When a villager is killed by a witch, they become cursed and transform. In order to take down this foe, you have to use a wooden sword. Be careful, though, as the vampiric villager will drain your blood to regain its own health. Thankfully, these guys are restricted to the nighttime and caves, as they'll burn in the sunlight. Somebody forgot their sunscreen. Now, before the foe dies, they'll usually turn into a bat to try and escape. But if you kill them, they have a chance to drop quartz, as well as a chance to drop a map to an abandoned woodland mansion. If you choose to follow the map to the mansion, be prepared, because deep within its walls lurks something far more sinister. Prepare to face the Vampire Lord. This new boss mob isn't the welcoming type. In fact, he despises visitors. He'll attack on sight, launching magical projectiles your way. And trust me, they pack a punch. Not only do they deal hefty damage, but they can also inflict additional potion effects. But if you can muster the courage and skill to defeat him, the real adventure begins. Whew, that was close. Now, time for the treasure hunt. Remember, vampires are sneaky. They love hiding their treasures in the most unexpected places. Neighboring these mansions are the Tasmanian devils that like to make their homes in these forest biomes. While they love a good nap, be warned, if you provoke one, they won't hesitate to fight back in a pack. Ow! 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 Note to self, don't provoke the wildlife! What is truly awesome about these guys, though, is when you give them a bone or rotten flesh. Feeding a Tasmanian devil a bone will result in the little guy chewing it into bone meal for you. Now, if you feed them some rotten flesh, you get to watch them howl. As their eyes glow red, they'll scare off any nearby hostile mobs. Now, this is a friend worth having around.
But then, ahoy, mateys! The drowned captain is the terror of shipwrecks
And the leader of his own pirate crew. This salty sea zombie loves calling on zombie pirates and skeletons to join the fray.
Yar! But you're no match for me, you scurvy dog!
Hey, wait, what are you doing? Ow! Not only was that incredibly rude, but he took all the cool loot with him. No pirate hat for me. Think wardens are the only mob to be worried about in the deep dark? Well, think again, as skulk spiders roam outside of ancient cities. Ugh, that's unsettling. And these aren't your ordinary spiders. Skulk spiders come in different sizes. Though the small ones may look less threatening, their poisonous bites pack a punch. Ow! And they roam in packs of two, making them tough to fight off in numbers. Back you eight-legged fiends! But the real terror is the large skulk spider. It can shoot a poisonous sonic boom that inflicts damage over time, and these big guys have 50 hearts of health, making them difficult to take down. Fighting against them is ill-advised, and it's best to just sneak into the ancient city, where it's safer. Oh, it's not safer. It's not safer! Wait, do you hear that? Sounds like a villager, right? Well, wrong! Meet the Kuko, a bizarre blend of chicken and elephant bird and villager. It uses those familiar sounds to lure us in. Clever, isn't it? But don't be fooled. This creature's got some tricks up its feathery sleeves. It attacks with sharp pecks and launches eggs that hatch into even more aggressive little Kukos. And when things get tough for the Kuko, it tries to make a grand escape by flying away. But bless its heart, it's a bit too hefty to stay airborne for long. Gravity 1, Kuko 0. If you manage to best this feathery foe, it leaves behind quite the prize of chicken and eggs. I guess it really just was an oversized bird. Now hidden within caves near the surface, a unique creature awaits discovery. Behold, the majestic Gekatoa lizard. Now they might look a bit intimidating with their scaly appearance, but trust me, they're big softies at heart, not a hostile bone in their body, or any other type of bone. Now, here's the best part. You can tame and ride them. Who needs a horse when you've got one of these bad boys? Once you tame 2 of these lizards, you can also breed them with melons, pumpkins, or even hay blocks. Like horses, the babies will possess unique stats from their parents. And you can deck out your Gekatoa in armor, and even equip them with chests. Yeah, this beats a horse any day. Though traversing the jungles is always a pain, and these guys don't make it any easier. The acidic archvine is known to hang from trees in jungles and the nether. See those tendrils? They're not just for show. Venture beneath it, and you're in for a surprise. Gross! If you find yourself in this sticky situation, you've got to act fast. Swipe at them with your sword, and you might just be able to survive. Thankfully, more friendly than the acidic archvine are these leafcutter ants. These ants make their homes in naturally occurring anthills. Each anthill is a kingdom ruled by a single leafcutter ant queen. She stays tucked away inside though, unless of course her home gets disrupted. It's rude to keep your guests waiting. Ow! Sorry! These diligent workers venture out, seeking the freshest leaves. And once they grab a leaf, they'll haul the green prize back home, feeding their colony. If these hard workers gather enough leaves, a new worker might just join the ranks. It's all about teamwork in the ant world. And did I mention? These little guys defy gravity. They can scale the sides of blocks like it's a walk in the park. If you wanted to, you could even start your own ant colony. Just take a leaf cutter ant pupa, place it on 2 stacks of dirt or grass, and a new colony appears. Do you ever feel like you're being watched while traveling through a forest at night? Well, there is a creature that just might be. The hide behind. This fearsome critter has been blamed for the eerie disappearances of travelers. It's always there, lurking, stalking its prey in the silence. But here's the thing. If you ever feel like you're being watched, look for the eyes. Those glowing orbs can betray its presence. Thankfully, the hide behind despises bright lights and will try to avoid them at all costs. But don't let your guard down. If this creature gets close enough, it's game over! Ah! No! 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 The Nether just got a whole lot more dangerous. Mutant striders are roaming all around and are definitely not peaceful like their unmutated counterparts. These terrifying creatures will catch you at lightning speed in Soul Sand valleys and swallow you whole. You'd be hard-pressed to get away from this creature's jaws. However, the one thing these guys like more than players is striders. Killing a strider will let you get strider boogers. Ugh, gross. Though if you feed enough of these to a mutant strider, then you're traveling in style. They'll even create obsidian paths over lava. Oh, that buzzing noise can only mean one thing. Meet the Warped Mosco, a buffed up mosquito with a terrible temperament. This ripped behemoth will stop at nothing to defeat the player if it enters his territory. Warped Moscows are incredibly aggressive and boast a range of deadly attacks. First, well, there's the punch. Simple, but it packs a wallop. Then there's the slam attack. When it lifts you off the ground, this foe will drain your blood, healing itself in the process. Don't think running will do you any good either, as the Warped Mosco has a deadly ranged attack. Your only chance for survival is to defeat him. And this is definitely worth the reward, because it drops materials which can then be crafted into a powerful ranged weapon. Whew. Okay, I think it's time for a lunch break. Wait, what's that noise? Ah! Ugh, gross, gross, gross! Oh, where are they all coming from? No! My apples! God, cockroaches spawn in caves. It'll eat anything they can find. And they only have one weakness. Maracas. Alright, now I can make my escape. Though something far harder to get away from is the sea serpent. Found primarily in ocean and deep ocean biomes, they're not the friendliest of neighbors. If you ever get too close, they'll either take a massive bite out of you, or, if on land, jump out to crush you. I gotta get out of here. Ow! Whoa! As you can see, they have quite the dramatic entrance when they spot a boat or someone near the shore. A rocky roller? These guys are the real bullies of Dripstone Caves. Don't let their low health fool you. Their armor is thick and they pack a punch. Whoa! Even causing earthquakes. Whoa! If you can come out on top though, you can use its rocky shell to craft a chest plate that lets you roll around just like them. But while it's also great at reducing fall damage, don't wear it in water. Unless you fancy a deep dive. Whoa! So thank goodness for this hippocampus. They're much friendlier than rocky rollers, and if you feed them enough, they'll even be your loyal steed of the seas. And just like horses, they can even equip armor and chests. No boat can match its speed, and I can even breathe underwater while riding it. Woo! But best of all, naming it Rainbow makes it change color. Beautiful. Just like this hummingbird. These tiny dynamos are a common sight in jungles, meadows, sunflower plains, and right here in the flower forest. They can be spotted in 3 different variants. And let me tell you, when it comes to pollinating flowers, they give bees a run for their honey. These guys pollinate flowers and then are off like the wind. But if you're looking to keep them around a bit longer, just try setting up a hummingbird feeder. Fill it with water and sugar, and then these little guys will just stick around it, ensuring that your flowers get the extra pollination boost they need. Just remember to keep that feeder topped off, and you'll have a hummingbird haven in no time. Now, the flutter is a cute little flower mob that can be found in lush caves. These gentle souls have a unique way of flying using their flower-like wings. If you want to befriend one, just feed it some flowers. However, they have a particular taste, so you've got to feed them a bunch of different flowers each time. And trust me, they're loyal. Now, if you're ever in a pinch, they'll have your back, shooting homing pollen balls at any threat. And if your adorable new friend is ever hurt, a simple flower will patch them right up. The best thing though is to give them a little pot, and then they'll wear it like armor. It's so cute, right? Hold up, is that a slimy sea sheep? Ooh, well, someone's got beef with pillagers. The Morso is a neutral mob that loves to fertilize the ground with its slime. They shoot out poison balls, and if their health gets too low, they'll start to float away from danger. Ooh, maybe he needs some help. Ah! A murmur? Ugh. Don't let its human-like appearance fool you. They've got this crazy long neck that they use to snap at their prey. So you gotta aim for the body, not the head. Oh, what's this? Red wool, an elastic tendon, and this creepy kimono? Oh, feels weird, but it's got some perks. It increases my reach by 2 whole blocks, and makes undead mobs chill around me. Except other murmurs, of course. Frogs just got some friends in the mangrove swamps. Meet the mud skipper. These semi-aquatic creatures can survive on both land and water, and these adorable little guys can be captured in a bucket for easy transportation. The best part is, they're passive towards players, and you can tame them for an awesome defensive companion. Mud skippers shoot balls of mud at their enemies, inflicting slowness on their targets, and they also move away from enemies to avoid their attacks. They are extremely vulnerable to ranged attacks though. Skip! No! Have you ever wanted your Totem of Undying to come to life? Well, these flying wonders can be found in dark forest biomes. Just like villagers, these airborne totems have trades up their sleeves. But these ones are all about health and regeneration. Using emeralds, you're able to purchase a variety of potions and even golden apples. The strangest of trades being another Totem of Undying. It makes me wonder why the one in my hand doesn't flutter about. These flying totems are tough cookies. Having evolved from the regular totem item seems to have made them indestructible, though they do have one weakness, a deep-seated fear of pillagers. I'll tell you one thing that isn't afraid of pillagers though, the giant ape. These colossal primates are a force to be reckoned with, especially if you're undead or, unfortunately, a player like me. These mobs can be found in dark forests, jungles, and taiga biomes. They're known for their powerful punches that can send you soaring through the air. And if that wasn't enough, they'll even hurl stones with deadly precision at anyone outside their melee range. But if you're brave enough to take one down, they'll drop a bounty of assorted fruits. It's a risky reward for such a powerful creature. Oh, if you hear that sound in the desert, then you're gonna want to watch your step. The rattlesnake is a defensive mob that only attacks if you get too close. It's their way of saying, back off, buddy. So, what's the worst he could do? Ow! Ah! That bite sure packs a venomous punch, and if it's untreated with a bucket of milk, it can quickly lead to death. And don't even think about messing with one of their babies. They're feisty and won't stop at just one bite. Always respect their space! Didn't think creepers could get any more annoying? Wrong. Meet the Phantom Creeper. This tricky mob is able to go invisible for short durations of time, making it difficult to fight back against. You also might just want to run, as when hit, the Phantom Creeper instantly splits into two identical versions of itself. Talk about double trouble. Thankfully, it can only pull this stunt once. However, in a group, the numbers can get insane. My advice is to run! I'm always looking for new defensive options for my base, because iron golems can be a little lackluster. The Scarecrow fits my farmhouse theme perfectly. He's assembled with 2 dark oak logs, a hay block, and is topped off with a carved pumpkin. This neutral protector, much like an iron golem, will fiercely defend its territory from any pesky monsters. But be cautious with your new pal around fire. One touch from any fire source will set your companion ablaze and turn him into a seared spirit. This blazing entity becomes hostile, even to players, and its fiery attacks can set you ablaze. But while it's immune to fire, water and rain are its Achilles heel. So if you see one of these guys, maybe just keep your distance, or have a bucket of water handy. Though it won't help you against the Froststalker, an aggressive mob that roams the Ice Spikes biomes. They have a unique hunting style, encircling their prey before making a swift leap, claws at the ready. And trust me, you don't want to encounter a pack of them, especially when they're hungry. If you fight back against a Froststalker, they'll start shaking the spikes off their back in a form of defense. Now, speaking of those spikes, these give them the ability to freeze water beneath them. However, warm biomes are their kryptonite, causing their icy spikes to melt and leaving them vulnerable. But nature has its ways. A quick dip in water, and they're back to their spiky selves. Then we can look at the natural prey of the Froststalker, the Tuskling. They'll flee from any Froststalkers in the area, although they have no problem attacking players. Though, if you have some brown mushrooms to feed them, baby Tusklings are known to look for brown mushrooms and will even dig them up. These guys do look familiar though. Where have I seen them before? Oh, yeah, leading a Tusklin into the Nether will cause them to turn into Hoglins, similar to bringing a Hoglin into the overworld, but in reverse. Whoa, the Dire Bat, oversized bats that are found in dark caves. Let me add some light for a better look and... Oh, yikes! Note to self, they don't like light. These nocturnal creatures are usually neutral, but if you shine a light on them or disturb their upside down slumber, you're in for a world of trouble. And trust me, you don't want to be the one on the receiving end of their attack. It'll leave you stumbling around blind. Upon death, these guys will drop their fangs. These can be crafted into special arrows that inflict blindness on their targets. Now, if only I could find my bow. Hey, give that back! They can grab items in an attempt to steal them, but a quick hit and they'll drop their loot. While looking for dire bats, make sure to keep an eye out for these curious little fellas. Redstone mites have a chance to spawn when mining redstone ore. They hate players, but love redstone. So do your best to keep any redstone circuits away from them. These little guys cannot get enough of the stuff and love to eat it. You pesky rats! Whoa, that's a troll, and not your regular internet kind. Watch out for their attacks. A downward smash or a side swipe from that club can send you flying. Whoa! Trolls really dislike players and villagers. They'll attack on sight with no hesitation. There are 3 types of these brutes: forest, mountain, and frost trolls. If any blocks are in their way, they won't hesitate to smash them to bits in order to get to their next target. If you have an encounter, here's a tip. Don't bother with arrows. Their thick hide just shrugs them off. You'll have to fight back with your melee weapons, but that won't be easy. The best way to deal with them is to try and expose them to sunlight. This will instantly turn them to stone. And petrified trolls are rendered useless and very easy to destroy. But enough with the new mobs. What if Minecraft instead changed existing ones? You might think the lays are boring now, but look at these. They could come in so many more varieties. And I'm not just talking about colors. Swordsmen and crossbow lays could charge into battle, while the Bella lay knocks back attackers and is shielded by this guy. There could be even more to find, but be careful, because there are just as many new Vexes to fight. It might even start an all-out war. Guys! Stop! What's this all about?
Those Vexes stole our K-Cow.
I'm sorry, cake cow?
Oh, sure.
That makes sense. Everyone knows if you feed a cow some sugar, they start to dance around. And if you keep on feeding them, then boom, cake cow. From there, they could be milked for a cake shake that, when drunk, would give players a sugary speed boost. Cows have needed an update for a while now, and this is just the next logical step in their evolution. Like how creepers evolved from pigs. Known to explode, these guys are pretty hated. Ah! Stay away from my house! But what if they didn't have to be hated? These creepers could be loved because when they explode, we all get something out of it. We all get filthy rich! I'm talking gold, emeralds, diamonds, even full blocks of the stuff. Yep, we'd all be living large, especially with our diamond water tanks full of the newly updated axolotls. Not only would they come in hot new colors, but they could be armored up with the drip leaf. They would even follow you around for a bite of fish. Open wide. If you're lucky, you could find the glow axolotl. Or if you're unlucky, the skulk axolotl. Ow! You're a hungry little one, aren't you? Oh no, the axolotl ate me. Whatever. Campfire! Whoa! Is this a skulk-filled ocean cave? Oh no, but that means the warden shark! Wardens don't tend to swim down deep, so adding in this fierce water-loving variant would add some extra danger to sea exploration. They have all the buffed-up hearing and sonic boom of the warden, but with an added slowness effect, meaning if you alert one, you're literally dead in the water. That is, unless you have a Pegasus to ride out of there on. Yep, horses are already useful, but give them a pair of wings and you'll be able to fly through the skies. Well, as long as you have enough magical glowstone dust to satisfy them. Oh no. Oh no, we're surrounded by witches! I'm sorry, old friend. Now we're both gonna die! Oh my! Unicorns! Another horse type that could be added, able to charge through hordes of enemies. Or you could just have the best of both worlds and breed them together to get alicorns. Let us fly! Wait, do you hear that? Ow! No! They sent a cursed witch after me! Regular witches are easy enough to take down. Oh my, can you stop healing? These troublesome cursed witches, on the other hand, love to throw potions from the safety of their flying brooms. And if you did manage to knock one down, they just start disguising themselves as nearby mobs and blocks as they fight. Where did that witch go? And they'll use even more potions, like swiftness and nausea. I'm done for! Wait, what? Oh no! It's a black cat! Stay away from me! Identifiable by its cute little hat, this cat has been updated from a simple recolor into luck's worst nightmare. Random falling anvils, lightning strikes, and holes in the ground are only the tip of the iceberg. If you get cursed with its bad luck, you might just find nearby livestock poison, your house in flames, or a town of friendly villagers turned into hostile pillagers. I gotta get out of here! Whew. Thankfully, they hate the water. So, good thing there's nothing down here except that blaze. Blue blaze? Normally, this red-hot foe is all about fire. And with the introduction of the air-slinging breeze mob in 1.21, these mob types are starting to get elemental. So, introducing the Drench. Found hovering above shipwrecks, this would be the polar opposite of a blaze.
It's gotta be around here somewhere. Where is that darn treasure?
The Drench could shoot out waves of water that both break boats and push players deep under the water to drown. Oh, don't worry, Angry Ned. Lifeguard Bonks is here to save you.
Thanks for saving me, I guess.
Of course, though you're not much safer on the land because of the quake.
My life sucks!
This earthly brother to the breeze would be the final elemental mob. They'd spawn near trial ruins and fight off any player by pelting them with rocks, entangling them in roots, and by summoning earthquakes. Whoa! Look, man, I'm just here for the treasure. Ugh! Taking them down would net you some of their throwable rock, along with access to the Trial Ruins' newest treasure, this egg. It may look similar to a sniffer egg, but that's just to trick you into hatching it, because once born, this ancient mob wreaks havoc. Named the Eater, it would forego the sniffer's more passive behaviors to consume everything, from crops and blocks to even mobs and players. The Eater is never satisfied. So, if you're not watching your eggs carefully, you might just come back to a barren wasteland. What have I done? You know, I've always found it odd how Minecraft bees are like the size of my head. What if they were more realistically sized? I think they'd be 100 times cuter, even when they're mad. Honey! Ow! Aw. Ow! But what if they also had a queen? The queen bee would be a mini boss of sorts and would reside in new, larger hives. Although she'd be a tough fight, the stinger sword and antenna she drops would certainly be worth the trouble. Paired together, you could call bees to your aid at any time. Come! Let us repollinate my desolate home! Ah, much better.
Haha, lame!
But the new villager type is a mushroom villager? No way. I bet a cherry blossom villager would be way cooler than you.
Nuh-uh. Come on, I'll show you.
Okay. Well, unlike normal villagers, these guys seem much more aggressive,
Yeah! Kick him while he's down!
but they don't seem very interested in trading. That guy looks different, though. A kind hello, sir. Could I interest you in an emerald? These elders will trade you a random item for every emerald, though some might not be worth the price. That's not a fair trade.
No refunds!
Oh, come on! Hey! Those were mine! Get back here! Pandas are usually so cute and cuddly, but with the addition of this new rare trash panda variant, the world would need a lot more cleaning up. And while these mobs love to munch on any dropped food item they can get their hands on, they'll constantly be dropping items of their own. And most of them are useless, like rotten flesh and poisoned potatoes. But they would have a very rare chance of dropping a netherite scrap. How they manage to get some is beyond me, but you could round them up and try to farm the stuff. You just have to sift through a lot of garbage. Oh no! My farm is on fire! Because of that new burning piglin! A new mutation. Born when a zombie piglin falls into lava, it craves netherite rather than gold. And it'll immediately charge towards any it can find.
Ooh, netherite!
They'll even target any player that has so much as a scrap of netherite in their inventory.
What?
Cooking them alive until they can claim their prize. Look how happy they are. Yeesh, those burning piglins love netherite. Almost as much as I love this designer's sheep. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. These guys spawn very rarely in their fancy mansion homes. And you can shear them for some sweet, sweet designer wool. What can you do with this wool? Well, wearing it will give you a guaranteed discount at every village you visit. The locals just won't be able to get enough of you.
Look, he's here! Is that Dr. Bonks? I think that's Dr. Bonks!
And you can trade any spare wool for plenty of emeralds. Only problem is, designer sheep won't ever regrow their fancy wool, so you'll have to find a lot of them if you want this snazzy suit. Oh, speaking of...
Hands off the merchandise!
Whoa, pal! I placed an order for that sheep.
Let me see that.
You know, I always thought it was weird that players could trade with villagers and not pillagers.
This is a blank piece of paper.
Oops, wrong form. While exploring woodland mansions, you could stumble across some of these rare illager order items that would allow you to trade with illagers. Their prices aren't cheap. but it's a way to secure some unique trades and get on their good side.
Pleasure doing business with you. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, pillage the village!
Oh, I didn't even mention the new pillager types that could be added in, like the Igniter that fires flaming torches into houses, or the Preserver that shields itself and allies from attacks. Yes, they're quite the force to be reckoned with. Shame those golems are gonna utterly destroy them. Iron golems are fine and all, but there's not much to them. You build them up and they beat mobs down. A little simple for my liking. Minecraft could change that though by making iron golems upgradable, like a TNT golem that explodes when it's killed. Different blocks would offer different results. Diamond would make him stronger, but a packed ice golem could freeze water and lava, a redstone golem could power your machines, and a glowstone golem could light up the night. Not only that, but blacksmith villagers will now repair their own iron golems when damaged. Just, well, maybe don't make a glass golem. They might dish some damage, but they sure can't take it. And there's no repairing that. Certainly can't trust it to guard my golden chicken. These are the most valuable mob to have on your farm, and wouldn't be found in the wild. Nope. The only way to get them is by hatching a golden egg, which would have a 0.1% chance to drop from a wild chicken. Then, you gotta place it next to a warm light source and crouch on it for 3 whole days.
Hey, Bunks, can I borrow some eggs? What in the... I hate you!
Sorry, Ned. Gotta protect my boy. It's time. Oh, once hatched, you'll find your golden chicken fully grown and ready to make you rich. Because instead of eggs, these big guys will drop valuable nuggets, even diamond and emerald. You just can't ever breed them, though. Just like the Ender Pig. These would be a special breed indeed. They could be found teleporting in every dimension and would be rideable. You'd have to craft a chorus fruit on a stick, but that's the easy part. Because then you'd have to get a saddle on them. Here, Piggy! Nice Piggy. And they hate being looked at. It's best to throw a pumpkin over your head to quell its anger. Because once you're riding high, you'll be able to teleport around with them, even through other dimensions. Not only that, but they drop ender pork, which can be cooked to allow for random teleportation when eaten, or brewed for a potion of warping. Haha! I can go anywhere! What? Where? Oh, great. I used my last potion to warp to the nether? There, in the nether? And what are you looking at? Oh, hey, there's honey over there! Look, there's a fish! Look, a piglin! Phew. This guy is the Magma Bear, and it loves nothing more than hunting down piglins for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeesh, quite the appetite. Hey, what's wrong, pal? Wait. Fire resistance? Oh, that's right. After devouring a tasty piglin, the Magma Bear would begin spewing fire resistance particles everywhere, which is great when you find yourself stuck in this place. Though, if you did manage to kill one, then you would be rewarded with something even better. Nether Claws, a whole new melee weapon that lets you dash forward in a fiery blur. Perfect for cutting down the new and improved slimes. Aside from their ability to split, current slimes aren't all that special. These updated jellies, though, would be able to quickly adapt to each new environment they find themselves in. Not only could they change their appearance, but also their attributes based on the biome. If in an ocean, they'll become more fluid to speed through the water, while in deserts, larger ones will cause tremors to drop any loose sand nearby. Ice spikes might be the worst, though. They'll do extra damage, apply slowness, and can freeze you, but they'll shatter in a couple good hits. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, sometimes slimes will spawn with goodies stuck inside, like gold or an umbrella? Sure, I guess this is useful. Oh! Ah! Get me down from here! Oh, wait, I'm starting to drift down. Right into that horde of zombies. It's no biggie. The zombies have always been the easiest mob in Minecraft. They're so slow and they leap and explode into poison clouds? Oh no! These would be the new rotten zombies. Ah! Stay away! They're more dangerous than any zombie before them. They can blind, poison, and explode their way to a delicious meal of me! Like, how will I ever get out of this one? Whoa! Wolves? Oh wait, no! Dogs! Yes! Cats have had their own unique breeds for so long, while the wolves were left forgotten. But now, finally, dogs could have their time to shine. Along with all the different looking breeds that would be added, each one would have unique attributes. Dogs like the German Shepherd and Doberman would be excellent fighters, while the Corgi and Pomeranian would keep their distance but provide positive buffs like strength and swiftness. Oh wait, time out. I'll be right back. Oh, who's the goodest little guy? Thank you for giving me these buffs. All right, I'm gonna go back and fight the mean old skeletons. So be a good boy, okay? All right, buffed up and I'm ready. It's not just fighting though. Some dogs, like the Dachshund, would be able to sniff out specific items that you present them. Go find me some diamond, boy.
Over here.
Like, good job, man. Yep, dogs are great. Don't get a pug, though. No, I'm serious. Whatever you do, don't get a pug. They're little gremlins that steal food right out of your inventory and... Hey, get back here! I swear I'll deal with you later. It looks like I have termites. This is a surface-dwelling variant of the silverfish that loves to infest wood instead of stone.
I heard you were having a termite problem.
Yeah, how did you...
Typical. I'll take care of them.
Thanks. Termites can be found in mounds spread all throughout the savannas, and they'll follow you home if you're not careful.
It's worse than I thought. We have to leave now.
What? No, it's my house. I'll just kill him myself.
No, don't.
No! Burn it! Burn it all! Well, now I don't have a house, and I'm hungry, so that's just great. Oh, yum! Pork! What the? A phantom? Typically considered the worst mob in Minecraft, these guys could use a lot of changing. This version would have significantly less health, but it could stun its prey with a screech. Then, it swoops down to grab both players and mobs, flying them up into the sky and dropping them down to their deaths. It's easy enough to escape, though, as long as you're not a defenseless villager.
Help me!
Now, he should have had a cat, because these phantoms are still terrified of the felines. Now, maybe phantoms being able to pick you up isn't so bad, though. I mean, if you're lucky, you might just catch sight of a hidden ender ship floating in the overworld, with loot aplenty. Speaking of those end ships, traversing the end could be a lot more fun with the End Strider. Like its nether counterpart, it can be ridden with a saddle, though it prefers coarse root on a stick, and will teleport at times of stress. These shaky striders, however, can also walk across the void itself. I don't know how they're able to walk across the air like this, but it's perfectly safe. The best part is, they aren't affected by shulker attacks, which makes End City raids 100 times easier. We make a pretty good team, huh?
I think we're really getting along.
What the? Dude, why?
It's an endermite!
You're scared of that? That's nothing. You know, what he should really be scared of are the spiders, because they could really become your worst nightmare. Current spiders are basically pushovers that are often too big to be a threat. Well, that could all change. Improving their wall climbing could be dangerous on its own, but pair that with baby spiders and the ability to launch webbing at prey, and spiders become a whole other beast. They'd lay eggs every so often that, if left alone, could hatch into a litter of tiny spiders. It's manageable enough on the surface, but if you're not careful, you'll find yourself quickly overrun in the mines. That's because, along with increased egg spawns, adult spiders will actively place new webs. Wait, I thought I cleared this area. I'm trapped! I found the treasure, Ned. It be mine.
I don't think so, Bunks. Ah, he dodged my attack!
Yarhar! Watch out for the Kraken, Netty boy. That there be the giant squid. It would be a new variant of the squid that lives in the deep oceans. And while it prefers to hunt dolphins, it won't shy away from a tasty player. It likes to blind players with its beam of ink before sucking them straight into its gaping mouth. Huh. Yar. Was that a dream? Where am I? Evil Bonks?
Yes, and it's time to witness my evil creation. I call it the Dark Enderman. Not only will it blind any player it finds, but it will also grab them and teleport them into the end.
Hey.
Shut up! I'm monologuing here. Now, what was I saying? Oh, right. I am an evil genius and... What the... No!
Some people never learn. Like those drowned over there. Give up. You're never getting out of there. Ah! No one warned me about the Immortal! He's a drowned that knows how to wield a trident. He can use it to dash forward while also summoning lightning. And if that lightning hits him, well, he'll recover all of his health. Ah! He really is immortal! Someone help me! What did you teleport him? Well, thanks. You know, maybe you're not such a bad... okay. Well, that guy is useless. Unlike the Umvathana. These bird-like predators circle their prey before jumping in to slash with their claws in coordinated attacks. Upon death, these Umvathana may drop their masks, which can be worn to aid you against Umvathai, the Sunbird. This boss perches majestically on his throne as he draws immense power from the sun to unleash devastating solar attacks, along with summoning more Umvathana followers to aid him in battle. Yet, for those who manage to best him, the Soul Visage Mask is their prize, enabling you to summon Umvathana followers of your own. But they're not as cute as these tiny followers, the hamsters. They'll either nap or be incredibly active if you craft them a hamster wheel using some slabs and copper. And those wheels can even be hooked up to redstone to generate power as they run. Aw, keep it up, little buddy. Just don't let any of these hungry Bilzebufo near anything. These giant carnivorous frogs have a terrible appetite and will eat any mob they can fit in their mouths. And after a meal, they'll drop saliva that can be used to finally craft name tags. But still, looking around nearby, you might find yourself some Cody chops to throw on a stick. Then, you can saddle one of these frogs up and bounce around at incredible heights. However, looking up to the heights of the clifftop forest, keep an eye out for the majestic Phoenix. This avian is as deadly as it is beautiful and will rain down explosive fire blasts on players. But for those brave enough to face its fiery fury, you'll get a chance at the rare Aklast music disc and the coveted Phoenix feather that, when held on death, will allow you to keep all your items and experience. Ooh. Huh? Oh, it's just a hunting pack of gray wolves. They only really prey on deer and elk, though it's not the wolves you have to be worried about. Hey, buddy. That's close enough. A skinwalker! Hiding in packs of wolves, these terrifying creatures are swift and deadly. And with their crazy amount of health, you really don't want to be caught unprepared. Oh, a slab turtle! Perfect! Ha-ha! Thanks, buddy. Ow! Oh, while they don't love it, these turtles were made for knocking into other mobs and deal damage whenever making contact. Though you'll want to be careful as they can unexpectedly bounce back. Ow! Oh, then they just get mad at you for some reason. Hey! Hey! Ow! Thankfully, we have the marshes to buff us up, because once tamed with a fermented spider eye, they can be fed any potion and will change their color once it's absorbed. From there, a player can right-click them with their weapon or shield to coat that gear with the same potion effect. allowing players to create swords that'll poison on attack or shields that'll give regeneration when hit, which can really help when navigating the new and extremely hostile Ender Forests. Although oddly enough, a passive creature called the Mongo survives here, likely due to its ability to vanish into thin air when provoked, leaving behind a trail of pests to deter its pursuers. And if it's touched by a player, it'll send them sky high, which can be great for traversing the tall mountains. Oh, haha! I'm up here now. Should one die though, it'll leave behind Aerogel, which when crafted into a block, will allow players to harness its airborne powers. Wow! Woohoo! Oh, not the Chakotay! This absolute pest loves to raid and steal any crops it can find, whether from a player or a village.
No, not my potatoes!
That's why you gotta build yourself a scarecrow. Crafted from a hat and some blocks, then imbued with a purple allay, these creatures' only purpose is to protect farms from the great Chakotay terror. And they do a pretty darn good job. Now, if only they could keep the rot skull away. This undead menace creeps in the shadows of dead forest caves and hates torches. He's quick to snuff out your lights whenever you turn your back, making it much easier for other mobs to spawn. And if you get too close, it'll dart away. Yet, strangely, it's drawn to Ender Eyes. Though, even stranger is its ability to turn any object you give it into charcoal, even an entire stack. It's better to befriend the mystical flower foxes instead. Unlike any other mob in the game, these little guys have to be grown from seeds, rarely found in flower forest biomes. Just use some bone meal and out pops a fox. Aw, it's just a baby. Which means it's time to stuff its face with stew! Crafted from a variety of flowers and a bowl, with enough stew, they'll be all grown up in no time. And once tamed, these botanical buddies can help you take on evil like the creeplings. Spawning only at night, creeplings bounce and bound right at you. They're difficult to combat in large numbers, unless you've got a candle. Feed them one of those, and they'll happily switch sides to fight for you, even against other creeplings or the Hollowweed, a mutated version of the creepling that can't be tamed and uses its head to slam down on players. It's a tough opponent, but taking it down can reward you with some creeping vines for crafting pumpkin armor, weapons, and tools. And while this gear matches iron in durability, the tools work even faster. And if you wear the full armor set, you'll be rewarded with a full minute of strength whenever you munch on some pumpkin pie, even in the dangerous new Tar Forests. For here resides the Ooze. This creature can seriously slow you down with its sticky projectiles and make jumping a no-go, which in these tar-filled forests is already hard enough! And while it doesn't like to move much, it'll do everything else in its power to annoy the heck out of you, even while you're being surrounded by the royal zombie and his army. Oh, give me a break. I like to think this undead monarch guards a ruined castle with hidden treasures, while it arms its undead crew with swords and helmets, boosting their speed and power. Though, if you overcome his royal highness, you could snag his staff for yourself, granting temporary resistance and strength buffs to make you as strong as the Megatherium. This giant platypus bear is insanely useful, but hard to tame, as you have to first find a baby and form a bond with it by carrying it around in a pouch. Once it eventually trusts you though, feed it some ginkgo fruit to help it grow big and strong. Then saddle it up. While these behemoths are slower than other mobs to ride, they can claw their way through dirt like champs, making them perfect for mining and base building. Huh? What's going on over here?
A horrible beast has come for us all! It's the end of times!
I don't see any, Oh boy. Mice are insatiable and will search far and wide for any food they can get their hands on, whether it's crops, cake, or cheese. The only way to stop them is either a mousetrap, which can break, or cats! Ha-ha! There we go!
Oh, thank you, kind player.
No problem.
Now, can you take care of our bee problem?
Bee problem? Oh, that's a big bee. This is the Bumblebeast. And while its appearance is nothing short of terrifying, that actually betrays its gentle heart, as it won't attack unless provoked, and can actually be fed honey blocks to receive a new bee fuzz block. Plus, thanks to the beehives on its back, if you wait a bit, you'll have the chance to bottle up your own honey directly from them, which you can then take with you into the brand new Jewel Forest biomes. Here, you can find these opal shell creatures carrying new ore on their backs, and clipping them with shears will either net you opals to craft into a dazzling new block set, or the rare precious opal that can both be turned into even more dazzling blocks and crafted into the Potion Diffuser, a device that can consume a potion to then continuously spread its effect within a 4-block radius, which can give you an edge when fighting the Majungasaurus, a chameleon-like dinosaur mob that is incredibly territorial. It charges at players. Whoa! And will attack its own kind, even babies if they get too close. Thankfully, a shield not only stuns this beast when it charges into it, but the stun can also cause it to drop scoots that can be crafted into a new helmet, giving you this more intimidating look and an increase in strength. But then there's the crafty raccoons. While they can be tamed with some melons, for whatever reason, these guys love to lunge and steal pollen right off of any bee they can find, often dropping clumps of their fur in the process, which can be used to craft a stylish raccoon hat, or can be turned into fur blocks to build your very own fur golem. And fur golems play a crucial role for many of these new forest mobs by taking care of their eggs. These gentle bearded golems will just sit on the eggs, providing warmth and protection until they hatch, which is great because if left unattended, these eggs would otherwise rot. Not that the giant grasshoppers mind though. Hatched from these very eggs, they love the taste of ones that have rotted or broken and can be tamed using them. Then, once tamed, they'll take your jumping game to new levels, allowing you to soar across the lands even higher than those silly little frogs or these puka rabbits. Though you really don't want to mess with those guys. They spawn in new fairy ring structures and are fiercely hostile, not only attacking players, but other mobs like wolves and even iron golems. Oh, and if they see a rabbit, they'll bite it, turning it into a puka too. And you can quickly become overwhelmed when they start inflicting negative effects like blindness or weakness on their targets, while giving themselves boosts like regeneration, speed, or jump boost. If you're spotted, the best thing to do is to calm them with golden carrots. Then they'll follow you around, sharing their positive effects, which helps a lot when fighting Cacus. This man-eating Venus flytrap with legs can often be found around forest lakes as well, and will chase players down, chomping down with a bite that afflicts slowness on its target. Ow! To avoid getting stuck, it's best to either take it down quickly or to just keep moving, which is especially easy if you're riding a crested gecko, as these oversized lizards make for an excellent escape vehicle due to their special wall climbing abilities. Whatever you do, don't fall! Hey, I'm not that fat! Easily tamed with grasshopper eggs, the hardest part of acquiring this insensitive steed is simply finding one, due to them loving to hide inside forest caves alongside the useful ringtail. As it's often dubbed the miner's cat, you can find it underground or on the surface at night, and you'll want to make sure you find one too, because if you tempt it with glowberries, it'll follow you around and reward you with mining haste. Have a ringtail by your side, and you'll be zooming through those caves in no time. What the? Where is that cute little guy go? Whoa! These must be kiwi birds. They're adorable little buddies that love to dance and eat kiwi cakes to multiply. Oh, cute. Though I think that one's going a little hard. Oh my! The majestic Argentavis! You'll never need an elytra again riding one of those. Though unlike some other mobs, these guys can't be tamed. And in order to get a big bird of your own, players must search the mountain forests to find and hatch their eggs. Dada. Close enough. Then, with a steady diet of Quetzal meat, they'll be all grown up and ready to fly. Saddle up and mount your bird to take off flying at breathtaking speeds. And while flying around, keep your eyes peeled for the even rarer Quetzalcoatlus. Hatching these guys is identical to the Argentavis, but while it can fly you on its back, the Quetzalcoatlus can fly you and up to 3 others at once using a specially added stand. And although it might not be as fast as the Argentavis, if you equip a flying helmet crafted from leather and glass, you'll get a speed boost to more quickly transport your whole crew around. Also in these strange lands, you can come across the odd Amigo mob. This clever little buddy loves to sprinkle glitter on nearby creatures, granting them near indestructibility unless the Amigo is taken out. But if you did that, then you'd have to worry about the reinforcements, as it can then spawn in the cute but still deadly Amigo Elites. So instead, I'd recommend trading these guys some cakes for valuable items. If you treat them with respect, they'll do the same to you. While below the Dark Forest treetops float the lanterns. These mobs glow naturally, like magical jellyfish in the trees, and keen-eyed adventurers will take notice of the luminous jelly they drop upon death. This substance, when snacked on, will light your eyes up with night vision, which can both give you an edge over common mobs and help you spot the powerful Raffle. This behemoth of a plant stalks like a creeper, but packs an even meaner punch. It'll actively hunt you down, launching vegetable explosives that detonate on impact. Get too close, and you might even find yourself poisoned. Though, despite its destructive nature, defeating a Raffle will reward you with explosives of your very own. Ha 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 ha! Who's the hunter now? Just be careful not to explode any of these tiny glow bugs. Dark forests twinkle with the light of these little crawling critters, and if you explode them, you won't be able to collect their bioluminescent drops, which can be crafted into a new Green Lantern block, allowing you to more easily light up the dark new dead forest biome. Home of this menacing elongated creeper variant called the Deeper. When these creatures explode, they unleash a massive gas ball that inflicts poison and blinding madness on those caught within. But even still, as the gas clears, their offspring emerge, destined to grow into new threats if you're unable to catch them all. Hey, get back here! What? Who's there? Oh no! Aggressive by nature, these spirits lie in wait to surprise unsuspecting wanderers. Though, nothing a little fire can't fix. Unlike other mobs, when one of these tree spirits is slain, they'll bone meal the ground where they died, along with dropping wood, apples, and precious forest energy. An item which, when held, will grow plants around you as you walk. Ooh, instant green thumb. Or, toes. Though tree ants are both much more challenging and rewarding. This monstrous tree reveals itself when a player has chopped down one too many oaks. And tough as it is, the battle is worth the challenge for the tree ant's magic root. This special item, when held in your offhand, grants your attacks a 20% chance to slow enemies down, giving you an edge in combat, as long as you're not fighting a Temnopo. Because while they may look intimidating and occasionally act aggressively, these creatures have a softer side, and them preferring a diet of raw fish over a fight means that you can easily tame them and turn this beast into a loyal, rideable companion. It'll be your boat through murky waters, which you'll definitely want to have on hand if you encounter any of these little guys. The caplings, while looking cute and peaceful, will spring to life if you get too close, prancing your way, only to go out with a bang! Basically, a creeper, but harder to see. Not a problem when you've got this handy night vision helmet, though, courtesy of the praying mantis. These swift insects hit hard, leaving you bleeding, immobilized, and struggling to see for precious seconds. Brave the battle, though, and you'll be rewarded with emeralds and their eyes, which can be used to craft that night vision helmet. Just make sure you're holding a redstone block to keep it activated as you watch your step around coastal cliffs, for the winged nagas can attack at any moment. These swift drakes zip through the air, spitting acid venom that can melt your health. Thankfully, with a well-timed arrow, you can send it crashing down. And though their acid is fierce, it's also helpful if you manage to kill one and grab a poison fang. Then, you can brew antidotes and preventatives against theirs and other poisons. It just won't work on acid slimes. Their rolling razors at high speeds can leave you poisoned and hurting, though they're even more dangerous when they're dead, as then they'll burst, spilling rotten acid that snares you with hunger and harm. Though being essentially zombified slimes means that you can cure them into regular slimes with a potion of weakness and a golden apple if you're short on slime balls. Oh no! They found me! Those up there are called the Zazar and are an airborne menace that can unleash a laser fury. More alarming though is its ability to spawn baby Zazars for backup. Ow! Though most players hunt them for their drops, as they're great sources of iron, redstone, and their rare nucleus item, used for crafting unique items like the sclerite chest and sparkle golems, or for lighting up areas like a beacon. Might even lure in a Wymond or two. Now, these little critters use diamonds as camouflage, and even though peaceful, can still deliver a surprising cut if you get too close. Make sure you have a silk touch pick handy, because without one, you might just find that your diamond has grown legs and run off. Hey, come back! I just want to smelt you! Oh, whoa, excuse me. I'll just, oh, ah! The Salta is a slime variant that makes you bounce, often high enough to take significant fall damage. Let me down! So I can fight the ghostly Palper, an ice spirit of majestic proportions. With its swift moves and high jumps, getting hit means you're slowed, making your escape tricky, especially when it summons ice walls to trap you. And try your best to take it down quickly, because if lightning strikes, the Palper will multiply. Whoa! Doubling your trouble. Defeat this frosty foe, and you'll gain a wall generator, which is perfect for quick shelter construction. Aha! Feels like home. What in the? Oh. This bloody snail is the Hypnocoal. Residing in dead forests, it has the power to hypnotize you with dizziness. And the only way to stop it is to kill, what was I talking about? Right. Oh, I love this snail. Huh? Oh, right. And the snail says to make sure and check out this video for more crazy Minecraft things. Haha, I'm gonna die.